My clients have made over $17 million online in the coaching space.
And one of the largest revenue drivers was a good converting video sales letter or a VSL. Now, if you've been in the space for a while, you probably think or have this perception that VSLs are highly complicated, highly scientific, that you need 1,000 different steps. But I'm gonna show you how using simple flashcards to build a highly converting VSL can make your life so much easier, and you can build out so many different VSLs, which will help you crush your competition. And if you stick to the end, I'm gonna show you where you can download the entire 14-page template that helped me create this little simple flashcards that are going to help you create a super strong VSL. First of all, you have to understand that in this extremely saturated information market where anyone can just Google or use ChatGPT to get results, your prospects don't want you to hold all the information for a sales goal. They want to make their decisions before they even get to a sales goal. So if you're forced to cram all the information in a 60-minute sales goals, more than likely you're not going to have a very high closing rate. This is why this specific type of VSL, like I'm going to teach you how to make today, is crucial to have because it's simple to make. It gives your prospects all the information they need to make an educated decision, and it also has psychological components inside of it, so it's easier for you to sell without having to do all the sales in a call. I drew out the only 5 questions you need to answer in a VSL so you can just record it and have a highly converting VSL. And a 6th card that explains the entire buying philosophy that you must cover in your video so that once people watch it, it's much easier for you to make a sale. And sometimes I've seen it with my clients, people don't even have to jump on a call. They watch the video and they just send them their credit card details. Okay, so the first thing you must answer is your avatar. The one thing you have to know about an avatar is not just who you help on a general level, but for example, maybe you have busy professionals who are coming back to training and wanting to build more muscle. The second thing you want to have for an avatar is a desired end state. Not all busy professionals want to go back to training to build muscle. Not all busy moms want to lose fat. Not all people who are getting back into the dating pool want to start dating once again. So you have to be very clear on the one specific situation you're helping people overcome. Number 3 is your avatar has to have 3 observable symptoms that once you speak those symptoms out loud, they nod their head and they say, yes, I felt that way. So even though there might not be solution aware or problem aware, once you speak about those symptoms, they understand that you're talking their language. This is specifically very important on people who have mindset offers, because mindset is very hard to sell. But if you speak their symptoms like, hey, you feel tired even though you sleep 10 hours a day, or maybe you've lost your appetite for 3 weeks in a row, like things that are symptoms, when you speak about symptoms on their avatar on a specific situation, that's when they understand you're speaking the language. Then this specific avatar has to have one specific constraint that's holding them back from getting to the desired situation. So maybe it's time, it's money, it's their environment, it's their skill, it's their confidence. It can be many other things. But again, rule of 1, you're speaking to one avatar with one constraint who wants to get to a specific point. You want to have a blocking belief, which means what's the main reason why they haven't tried something similar to your solution in the past. Let's just keep things very simple with fitness. Many people who are busy professionals have tried other coaches that didn't work. So what was the main blocker? What was their mindset like, or what is their mindset right now that holds them back to making a purchasing decision to go into your program, to go into your coaching? What's that blocking mechanism? On the other side, you want to know what's their buying trigger. Why do they buy? Now, 2 more things is you have to know what their deal breakers are. For example, in my case, I help coaches scale through something called the coaching OS. The biggest deal breaker when clients come to me is that they don't like group coaching settings because these are busy entrepreneurs, these are busy founders. They don't want to stay in a group coaching call for hours to get their questions answered. So what I do is I do one-on-ones every single week with my clients so they can get their answers right away, so they can get working, get better results, and get quicker results. So the rule of 1 with an avatar is 1 avatar, 1 promise, and 1 mechanism per VSL. Sometimes I've seen in health that maybe if you're a fitness coach, you do prep coaching and you do lifestyle coaching. You want to have 2 different VSLs, 1 for prep and 1 for lifestyle. So now that you have a 1 super clear avatar, the next thing that you want to touch on in your VSL is the dominant emotion. The dominant emotion is the primary feeling you want to trigger in the first 1 minute. There's a reason why they're watching this video. What's the reason they're watching this video? And why do they feel compelled to watch this in the first place? What are they feeling? Is it anger, frustration, envy, greed? You can use multiple different emotions throughout your VSL, but you want to lock in the one that's the most close to the heart, the reason why they really want to make this happen in the first 60 seconds, so they're hooked and they're more likely to watch the entire thing. Usually I always tell my clients to just pick 1. So maybe your prospect is worried about loss or a declining health, getting fired, going broke. That's fear. You can use frustration, which frustration could be maybe they've tried many different things and nothing has really stuck with them. So they have bottlenecks, day-to-day annoyances, a bunch of different things. You can use hope as in like once they watch this video, they're going to attain the thing that they've been always wanting to have. You get the point, but just pick one emotion that you're opening in your VSL with. I'm gonna read through my document here. So just to give you more ideas. So fear, risk of loss, frustration, they're stuck or they're annoyed. When you speak about hope, you do possibility or you do a vision. When you do greed, you do a gain or an ROI or their time back of some sort. If you do pride, it's identity, it's status, it's some sort of mastery. Again, lead with one emotion in the first place. Number 3 here is your big promise. Now, this is very simple because now you have a clear view of who your avatar is. If you're doing your homework and you're writing this down, the one thing with the big promise is very simple. All you have to do is just write this down. You're going from before to after in a specific time frame without doing the thing that they hate the most. So if you go back to in this video where I speak about your avatar, where they are, where they want to go, their annoyances, all those things, this should be very easy for you to do. So once you have that specific sentence of who you're speaking to, why you're speaking to them, where they are right now, where they want to go, and in how fast or how quick they want to get there, and the thing they hate the most that they don't want to do, like their biggest deal breaker, then you have a very important persuasive sentence that's going to be the backbone of your entire VSL. Because all you're doing essentially is you're proving your philosophy as to how somebody that you've worked with in the past has gone from a very familiar situation to you or in their past situation to somewhere, to their goal, to their heaven island. And all you're doing in the VSL is you're making the case as to why the way you do things for them is the best way. Because as you know, in any niche that you want, finances to make more money, there are many different ways. Fitness to lose fat, there's different ways. To build muscle, there's different ways. In relationships, to get more dates, there's different ways. To look better, there's different ways. Like, as you know what I'm saying. All you're doing in the VSL is making a case as to why your method is the best. So once you have this big promise formula, which is you just have to fill in the blank, go from blank to blank, which is the after state, in time frame without a dreaded thing they hate. Fill that out, and that's your third step. Now, the way they're going to go from before to after is by number 4, using a mechanism. This is your unique mechanism, and if you're being marketing, if you're being you probably know what a unique mechanism is. It has to be new. It has to be something that sounds a little bit scientific. It's something that they can't really Google. It's something that's yours. For example, my unique mechanism is the coaching OS. It's literally a system I install in my coaching clients. I'm going to show you what it looks like. It's literally this entire process that I printed out, and that's the operating system my clients install to scale past 100K months as a coach. But that's for a different video. Unique mechanism, name it whatever you want to name it. Don't make it something stupid, but all you have to do is what it is, why it works. Make it simple. The coaching OS works because it's a system we install in coaching businesses that helps them scale. This is how we do it. Whatever it is. You have a metabolic formula that helps people lose fat even if they just train 3 days a week. That's what it is. Simple. Like, it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. I think a lot of people just overcomplicate the process of creating a unique mechanism when in fact it can just be anything. But you have to have a reason how you deliver the big promise. So the step before this is the big promise. So big promise, you get to the big promise by this unique mechanism. That's what it is. So after your mechanism, all you have to do, because you have to prove to people that your mechanism actually works, you have to install something that's called SSP, which is our 5th step, which is basically specific social proof. What does this mean? Essentially, when you have a mechanism, so I'm gonna go back to this flashcard here. When you have a mechanism, ideally you have 3 different pillars on how to achieve whatever big promise. To make things simple, in fitness, you have nutrition, you have training, and you have environment. When it comes to SSP, specific social proof, what you want to do is you want to give social proof to each specific pillar. So a social proof on nutrition, a social proof on training, and a social proof on environment. Speak about different clients that you've had and say, we've done this unique mechanism, which has 3 parts, just like this client who had this nutrition problem, whatever problem, which is just 1 pillar, and give a specific social proof about that specific pillar that they had that was incredible. You have to be very specific and always show me, don't tell me. Show me pictures, show me screenshots, show me revenue charts, show me the thing, don't just tell me. But it has to be very specific. The thing with social proof is you don't want to make it way too long. You don't want to make it way too boring. Be specific. Here's the problem that we solved. They were here before. After installing this mechanism, they are here after in this amount of time without this annoyance. Or like the other client who was here before, now they're here after, by implementing this in this time frame without annoyances. That's how you set up your case studies inside of your VSL. That's it. Those are the 5 things. So let's go back to this again. So 1, you need to have a very clear, very specific avatar, like here. And then after you have an avatar, all you have to do is you have to have one dominant emotion as you open this video. Then after that, simply put, you want to have a big promise, which is the entire philosophy behind your VSL of what you're giving them, because here they are before, here they are after in this time frame without dreaded thing. And after you have the big promise, well, you have to have a way on doing this big promise or delivering the big promise, which is your mechanism. And then the way you show people how your mechanism works is simply by doing number 5, which is SSP, which is specific social proof. The reason why this works, and this is the sixth and last flashcard, is because if you implement all these 5 things, you're essentially hitting all of the micro yeses or the micro commitments somebody has to have internally to make a buying decision. And it's very simple. You just have to memorize this. It's pain, motivation, change, methodology, and solution. I'm gonna go through this real quick.
The biggest driver of motivation is pain,
because pain signals a potential harm, which makes somebody do something about it.
So when
I talk to you about your avatar, you understand what is the one thing that makes them feel uneasy. That thing makes them be motivated to make a change. So again, pain, motivation, change, methodology, and solution. Very simply. So in your VSL, in your intro, when you're very clear to the avatar and when you lead with the emotion, you're bringing in the pain that they're living, which gives them the motivation to be hooked and watch the entire thing because they want to do something about that.
Which then you basically, what you're doing here is a sequence of yeses.
So when you open up your VSL by saying something specific, essentially it's a yes internally of like, yes, that's me. Yes, that's the pain.
And subconsciously, when you're speaking about that pain and that emotion, then the next yes, it's motivation. They're motivated to keep watching. So now that they have accepted that they're in pain and they have a motivation to do something about it, then the next thing is that we just need to tell them that they need to make a change. If they felt a certain way, and if they're in a state of pain and they want to get to their heaven island, to their goal, the only way to get there is to make a change. And the way that changes is by the big promise. So if you're here and you want to get there in this time frame, without this thing that you hate, change needs to happen. And once they make the decision that yes, they need to make a change, that's when you implement and you introduce your mechanism, which is essentially just the method. So they're basically saying yes to, I want to make a change. It seems like the best way to make a change is through your mechanism. So now they've said yes 4 times. They said yes to pain, to motivation, to the change, and to the methodology. And the last thing is your solution. In your VSL, you can sell your solution. I have a client selling his solution through the DMs, and he's charging 8K in the DMs, no sales call. The solution might be, for many of you watching this, getting people on a phone call or a Zoom call or whatever. All you're doing is, if you're in pain, you're motivated to do something about it, and you know you have to make a change. And the best way to make this change is through my mechanism and my program. Then the next logical step for you to take is just get on a call with me or DM me and I'll give you the solution. So if you're doing this correctly, you can have a very strong VSL, very strong converting VSL in probably less than an hour, which is something that I already did with a client. In an hour, we drew everything down, and now all he has to do is hit record, and that's it. VSLs are literally just one very small part of generating attention and in some cases, converting this attention into clients. Very, very small part of the big ecosystem of what it entails to have a very good, profitable coaching business. But if you've watched this far, what I want you to do is 2 things. 1, if you want to have the document that I have that I give my clients to create a converting VSL in like less than an hour, go to my Instagram and DM me VSL and I'll send it over. Number 2, on the screen right now, it's the full video that shows you the 3 things every coaching business needs to have to operate profitably and hit whatever it is your goal is, 100K months, 80K months, whatever it is. Which is, how do you generate attention in your business? How do you convert this attention in your business? And how you deliver the promises that you want your clients to have. So click the video on the screen right now and I'll see you on the next video.